Welcome back to Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. I'm Beth, and today we're diving into a topic every business needs, but few want to talk about: insurance. Don't worry, we've got Jesse Harkins from Norton Mountain Insurance joining us today to make practical, relatable, and even a little fun. We're covering what coverage you really need, plus the surprising gaps most business owners don't think about. If you've ever asked yourself, wait, am I actually covered for that? This episode is for you. Grab your favorite cup of coffee and let's dive right in. Hey everybody, welcome. It's your favorite Chamber Chicks, Beth and Kayla. Dun, 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 dun. And we're here with Jesse from the Norton Agency. Thanks for coming in today, Jesse.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. We're talking all things insurance, things you knew, things you didn't know, things you need to know. So, keeper of all insurance knowledge.
That's your official title at Norton Insurance?
No, that's not accurate. We'll go with it for this.
In this instance. Well, insurance is very important for our businesses. It's one of those things that you'd love to skip on, but man, if you do, it's a bad plan. So, and it's kind of intimidating, like what you don't know, what you should know. So, especially for our small business owners and our new business owners. So, what's the simplest way that you would like to explain what kind of insurance a business might really need?
So every business is totally different as far as how underwriters look at it, rate it. So like obviously general liability, no matter who you are, what you're doing, what type of business you are, general liability is crucial because it protects you from slips, trips, falls, any of that stuff when your customers are coming in. So then there's workers' comp. Some companies don't have any employees, so they don't really need it unless you're a contractor. And then your business auto stuff, and that's all depending on what type of business you are again. But general liability with any company is crucial.
Needs that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is one of the biggest mistakes that you think business owners make when they're shopping around for insurance? Like what's something that they overlook?
Their entire policy sometimes. A lot of people don't review their policy. They don't know what they need, don't know what they have. It really just depends on how much the agent that you have digs into the policy with you, explains the coverages. But a lot of companies just overlook everything because they don't know what they need.
It is, because it's intimidating, right?
It is. And when you look at a policy, and a lot of your commercial policies, they're 150, 250 pages. I mean, you're getting a huge thing, and nobody wants to read that.
No.
So,
it's like the terms and conditions on your phone, right?
Right.
You're just like, agree.
Yeah, I accept, I agree, I accept, I agree, here's my money. So and it's just a lot of business owners overlook it as far as they don't review it every year. If their agent doesn't explain it to them, they don't know. There's a lot of coverages that get missed on accident sometimes.
Right.
For instance, I know offhand there's several restaurants in our county, and there's probably more that have alcohol sales, but they don't have the coverage for it.
That would be a bad day.
Yeah, and that
I'd hate for you to lose your restaurant over something like that.
And it can happen quickly because your general liability is not going to cover anything that's alcohol related. If someone were to get overserved, leave the premises and have a wreck and kill someone. So.
I think that's a great point that your agent and your broker really needs to understand your business, kind of like how your chamber chicks need to understand your business to be able to best help you, right? Because what Ward needs next door at Clyde's is vastly different than the coverage that the chamber needs. And we're two businesses next door to each other but have very different needs.
Correct. And your agent only knows what you tell them. So if you don't tell them that you're doing this, then they can't cover you for that exposure. So communication is key when you're shopping for insurance and talking to your agent as well.
Yeah, and we have such a community of small entrepreneurs. We call y'all serial entrepreneurs, and we love you. You have a special place in our heart. So you have a bunch of different things running. But one of the things that we find, especially here, is some businesses need insurance for events. Pop-up markets. If you're hosting a pop-up market, or you're doing maybe you're doing a open event at Freedom Park, so what kind of coverage should those guys out hosting events outside of their business? What should they have?
So again, this goes back to reviewing your policy, because if you already have a general liability policy, you may have coverage for that pop-up event at a different location. You may just have to add that temporary location. It may be included. But for the most part, a special events policy, depending on what type of event it is, if they typically look at a golf tournament, a wine festival, beer festival, anything like that, there's someone out there who will insure those, and it basically. And
you have to find them.
Well, when you have a broker who can shop many markets, it's very helpful. But it's I wouldn't say a basic policy. It covers a lot, but it's a simple policy. It's a couple $100 at most, depending on what you're actually going to be doing. So it's just a matter of picking up the phone, talking to your agent, and having them do the work for you.
Yep. I think that's super, super vital, because we see a lot of, which, we would love for there to be more events going on in our
Downtown
community and things like that. But
different parts
people who, not even businesses, but are like, oh, I'm just going to have this festival. And it's like, hold on, let's make sure that you're protected, because if something were to happen, then that's a whole nother ballgame,
Yeah. And and in those special events, if you're going to have a lot of vendors, it's important to make sure that that vendor that comes in and is serving hot dogs has coverage to put an extra layer of protection between the host of the festival and the customer that eats the hot dog and gets sick and tries to.
And
it's not going to happen.
And based on the event, you need a hell of a lot of different kind of permits too. You need certain kind of, because just recently came up the conversation about events with fireworks, right? So our friends at NOFO are hosting a 4th of July firework event, so they need a different kind of insurance for that. They need a special permit from the county for that. So
things that explode.
Yeah.
Can tend to be a little bit more expensive when it comes to insurance, but it can be done.
Alcohol and fire. I mean, come on.
What could go wrong,
Todd's always telling me no to those things. Oh, Todd, live a little. Speaking of fire. Our next question, speaking of fire and alcohol.
I don't even know who
expected
turn it is.
Yours.
So yeah, we talked about the alcohol things. Is there any other things that you think people, it's kind of unexpected that they don't necessarily think about insuring until maybe y'all bring it up or it's brought to your attention?
So it's not necessarily insuring something property-wise. Something that we've seen recently, actually, and I'm sure you guys are aware of it, is there was a lady who was going around to local businesses. She was hired by an attorney to go in, and she would take pictures of all these different things, send them to the attorney. Next thing you know, the business owner is getting a lawsuit saying, hey, strike a check and we'll go away. So there is coverage for that, believe it or not. It has to do with ADA compliance and all that good stuff. It's called EPLI, Employment Practices Liability. So it's a very complex coverage that most people do not have, if I had to guess. So not only does it cover the business owner for any acts between, as far as discrimination, harassment, anything between the client and the employee or amongst employees, but there's also a third-party coverage to where it would protect you if that person does come to your business and says, oh, well, your bathroom doorway is not wide enough for a wheelchair to get in there. we're going to sue you. We're not going away unless you give us $50,000, $10,000. So that third-party coverage does kick in, and we've seen that. The last time that happened, it's been several months ago, but they hit 2 of our insureds for sure.
Businesses here in Cleveland.
Yes, and it's not the first time that this lady has done that. It's not the first time it's happened in this county either. It happened a couple of years ago in Helen with several businesses as well.
Because we got a lot of old businesses, or a lot of old buildings.
Yeah,
yes,
old buildings.
Yes, and that's what I don't know if they set that up and realized the buildings were the age that they are, but they were all built before 1980, basically. Yeah. So it was very strategic on the attorney's part, and not bashing attorneys or anything like that, but it was something that they was well thought out. So they knew what they were doing. But that coverage is, I'm not going to say it's the cheapest coverage you can get, but it's a very complex coverage. It's affordable, and in my eyes, it's very, very necessary.
Yeah, I mean, until that started happening, I never thought about that in the case of a lot of our businesses until that kept happening.
Yeah,
that's an issue.
The first time that happened up in Helen, it happened to a hotel that I insure.
Yeah,
and
it's very common in hotels.
The lady lives in Florida, and in both scenarios, it's been attorneys from Florida, and I'm pretty sure it was the same firm. But the lady had never been to the property. She just went on their website and noticed that they only had X amount of handicap rooms, which by the law, and I don't quote me on this, the number of rooms that they had, they only had to have one room, which they had. But they went in there and it wasn't on the website properly, so they dinged them for that, and they basically had to write a check and to get these people to go away. It's they dig around and find whatever they can, but there's coverage for it, which is
legal blackmail.
Yeah. So
it can happen. So what do you think? Oh wait, I want to back up just a second. We were talking to Stephen Reiser about cybersecurity, and y'all have coverage for that too, don't you?
We do. Again, it's one of those coverages you don't even know that you can get until someone mentions it to you, or until it happens to you,
right.
And then it's kind of hindsight. It's always 2020, right? So cybersecurity is becoming one of the, I wouldn't say one of the largest coverages, but it's becoming just as important as any other coverage out there, because anyone can hack into a computer, it seems like, steal some information and then hold it ransom until you write them a check.
There it is again. So what do you think, for all our businesses, what is one small smart move that a business can do now to be better protected?
The EPLI that I mentioned is probably one major thing. Other than that,
maybe just call your agent or your broker and make sure your coverage covers your business.
Definitely review your coverages. One thing that, and it's typically included on most policies, is business income. That's a small thing, costs very little amount of money, but it protects you. If you were to have a huge loss at your business, if your building were to burn down, it keeps that revenue coming in so that you can rebuild, so that you can pay your employees, to keep them, so that way when you do rebuild, you open your business back up. You're not sitting there with no employees. You can pay them to keep them close by, so that on day one your doors are open and you're making that money again.
I like it. I love that so much.
It's a lot of coverages that you don't know are there. Like I said, that you just got to talk to your agent and review stuff. And business owners, if you have a restaurant, talk to other restaurant owners, see what coverages they have, see who they're doing business with, talk to people, and make sure that you're covered.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it can come back and really bite you in the butt.
And that's what I love about our chamber members and our community. Like, you can sit down and talk to anybody.
Everyone's very collaborative.
Everybody's very open. Just pick up the phone and call somebody, or drop by, or come by the chamber office here. We'll put you in touch with somebody who you can talk to about your questions. Yeah. We say we don't have the answer, but we know a guy.
Find them.
We will find them. So, gosh, Jesse, wait. We have one more question.
Oh, no.
He's like, this wasn't on my sheet. I don't know.
Okay. He's like, no, there was a contract.
I know what's coming. This is going to be
knew
the
it was
most
coming.
boring answer ever.
What is your go-to coffee order?
I know what it is. It's a stout at Nofo.
No, it's actually not. Unfortunately,
I was kidding.
It's just black coffee.
We are on your side.
Right?
Now, if I will branch out a little. See, the problem is I don't know how to order half this stuff.
It's as confusing as insurance.
If I take a coffee order for the office, or I'm at Ingles
Same.
and I'm picking up Starbucks
Write
for
it
the
down.
wife, text me and I'll just show them the phone.
I'm not even going to.
One of those.
He's like, I'm not even going to say it because I'm going to mispronounce grande.
Yeah. And I will branch out in the afternoons. If I need a little pick me up, I will go to Farmhouse and get I'm not going to say what size I typically get. But it's
There's
enough
no judgment
It's
here.
enough to make my
The
heart
gallon.
explode. But it's
I call that the child size. The size of the small child. As Leslie Note would
It's
say.
the Nutella.
Okay,
I haven't had that one.
Oh, it's good.
Ice?
What is it?
Or hot?
Iced with an extra shot
Oh,
Obviously.
wow. There you go.
with oat milk.
Oh, that's good. I like to get oat milk sometimes because it makes a different flavor.
It does. It changes it up. a
So
little bit.
I like that. I don't know.
Nutella with oat milk. Child
Noted.
size.
Child size.
Extra shot. The first time I got the extra shot, they didn't tell me that it already has like 2 or 3 in it.
Oh,
Oh.
baby, it's got more than 2 in it.
Oh, I was. Yeah, it was.
3
I
days
think that
later,
one has
he's-
4 in it. I think.
There's
But
no
I don't
telling.
know. I'm not a barista. But I feel like there's 4 shots in that one.
That's not.
So
good.
did you cut your entire neighborhood's lawn while you were...
I,
when you got home from
didn't
work?
drive home from work. I ran.
Okay.
And then.
Shoo,
cut
shoo,
it
shoo.
out.
It was when you lived in Demorest too, right?
It was. It was.
Before you moved back to
It
Cleveland.
was just as quick as driving. So.
Well, thank y'all for joining us on this episode of Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. Make sure to keep tuning in. We'll also drop Jesse's information in the show notes if y'all have any questions that you want to reach out to him for all of your business insurance needs. But until then, we'll see you next time.
See you, love you, bye!